If you're having trouble printing with your Sublimation Epson EcoTank printer, then stay tuned. You won't want to miss this video. Hey, what is going on? The printer guy here. And in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about different issues that you could be having with your Epson EcoTank and potential solutions and maintenance tips to prevent these issues in the future. So stay tuned until the end. I'll be talking about the maintenance tips that I have for you at the very end. There are going to be video chapters down below this video so that you can skip around if you need to, but I highly recommend you watch the entire video so you get a better scope of the issues that you're having and potential solutions. Now, if this video is helpful, please make sure to like the video. Any questions at all, comment below. And if you want more content like this, please make sure to subscribe. All right, so one of the biggest issues that you could be having with an Epson EcoTank printer used for sublimation printing is that because the sublimation ink is a lot thicker than your regular dye-based or pigmented-based ink, there is a lot more potential for clogs, and clogs will happen a lot more frequently. And so typically with an Epson EcoTank printer, you do have these clogs that happen even with regular ink. When you use sublimation ink, these clogs can happen a lot more frequently. And so what can end up happening is that thick sublimation ink goes through your nozzles, and that ends up getting clogged over time because there is maintenance that is needed. But if you don't do that maintenance, that buildup can occur, and this is where you're having issues. And the issues are you're probably printing blank pages. That means nothing is printing out. You could also be having lines coming up in your prints or just faded prints, and they're just not as high quality as you would like. And so to fix these issues, I have some potential solutions, starting with the most minor going up to the most severe cases, but they're all solutions that will most likely work for you. The reason why this typically occurs is because you are not printing frequently or you're printing very frequently. So there is a happy medium in between there that is a sweet spot, but nobody really hits that usually, especially if you're having these issues. You're either on one of these spectrums where you're printing very infrequently or printing very frequently. If you're printing at a normal rate in between those two, frequent and infrequent, so maybe like in the middle of that, then you might have issues down the line, but you'll probably go a long period of time without any issues. What happens when you're printing infrequently is that the sublimation ink actually gets dried up over time in that nozzle. And so the dried up ink needs to actually be flushed out. And that's what we're going to be talking about with these solutions. And on the other end of the spectrum, when you are printing very frequently, there's so much ink going through the system that sometimes it can get clogged because the maintenance box actually can get clogged, which we'll talk about the maintenance box during the maintenance part of this video, which is at the end. But that can get clogged up and full without you really realizing it or getting towards the end of its life. And then with the frequent printing, that can really cause a clog within the system. Now, both of these solutions are going to require that you have totally full ink. So I'm going to mention that several times just as a reminder, and in case anyone skipped this part of the video, I'm going to mention it frequently. But I have Best Printers branded sublimation ink linked down in the description below. I highly recommend that you get some, subscribe, maybe even get some every 2 to 3 months. You can save on the cost of the ink, and you really want to make sure you're at that top line. You want to have full ink when you're doing any of these cleaning processes that I'm going to talk about, because if not, these cleaning methods could end up not working, especially if you're running low ink. If you're running low ink, you absolutely have to get new ink. Now, if you're running about halfway, you still want to, because you want to keep those levels pretty high, and you're going to need new sublimation ink anyway. So unless you have a ton of sublimation ink stocked up, go and get some. This is going to be very important for this process. It's going to be the very first link down in the description below. The first thing you want to do is do a nozzle check with regular paper. A nozzle check, you go into your settings, maintenance, and then nozzle report or nozzle check. You select that and you print that report. That report is going to show you what colors are giving you the most issues. It could be black, typically is, could be one of the colors, or could be everything you're printing. If you're printing blank pages, really you can skip this step. But then from there, once you know what color, you're going to want to print between 10 to 15 pages with regular paper and sublimation paper. So let me explain the process. You're going to want to use a color photo that matches the colors that are missing. So if you have a lot of black missing, print a photo or a document that has a lot of black in it. Initially, you want to use sublimation paper. Sublimation paper is going to give you a really good idea of what's actually printing, because when you use regular paper, there's kind of a difference there. Many times it could be lower quality on regular paper, and then on sublimation paper, it looks great. So you're going to print the first page sublimation paper. Then from there, print about 10 to 15 pages with regular paper. Just run that color through. And this is where you may have to fill up your sublimation ink. Again, again, link down in the description below for Sublimation ink. And that black ink, if it's black ink that's being used heavily, go back and fill it 100%. And this will allow you to print without really worrying about having to waste your ink and not have ink to do your sublimation printing. Once you've done about 10 to 15 of those, you're then going to move on to the sublimation paper. And lastly, to see how it's actually printing out. Once you see the quality there, and if you're satisfied with the quality that's being printed, then you can either stop there and you've solved the problem, or you'll have to move on to some more intensive cleaning measures. So really, this is progressive. So you may have solved your problem at this point. If it's still not working, if you're still printing blank pages, let's say you got to like your second or third page printing this colored page and it's still blank, you definitely have to just skip over to the next method, which is going to be a print head cleaning within the maintenance section. So this is close to where you printed your nozzle report, and it's print head cleaning. And you're going to run maybe 2 or 3 of those. If that doesn't work, you want to move to a power cleaning. That's the absolute last thing you want to use in the maintenance, but there's one more step beyond that you can do. So once you've done several print head cleanings and it's still not working, whether it's your blank pages printing again or better quality or no more lines in the prints, then you'll want to move up to power cleaning. Power cleaning uses significant amounts of ink. So again, having ink purchased on hand is going to be very important for this process. I would even have that ink purchased and with you before you even start these processes, because if not, you're probably going to have to wait for the ink anyways, because these methods are going to consume a lot of ink. So that's your power cleaning. Your power cleaning, depending on the Epson EcoTank model that you have, you'll have different ways that you can do power cleanings. Some of them you go into settings, maintenance, and then there's the power cleaning option. Others, you may have to go through something else. Some of them you press the power button and the question mark button. A quick Google search will tell you exactly how to do a power cleaning on your specific Epson EcoTank model. All right, so that's the first set of solutions. This is the easy route. You don't have to do much to get this, to get your printer back up and running, and you should be good at this point. And now, if you still are having issues, you will want to move on to the next method, which is you will have to do a manual print head cleaning with a cleaning kit. That cleaning kit I will link down in the description below. But really what you should do, you are going to need specific instructions. That's beyond the scope of this video. There are detailed instructions I have for most Epson EcoTank models. I have basically covered every single Epson EcoTank printer that you can imagine and all of the subcategories and all of that. So what you want to do is go to my channel page. To get there from this video, you're going to go down below this video. You're going to click on my profile icon. That will take you to my channel page. From my channel page, you're going to click on video, and preferably you're doing this on desktop, and you click on videos, and then there should be a search bar down there. Now, with that search bar, you're going to type in your specific printer model. Now, the reason why I want you to go to my channel page is I have the exact instructions for your specific printer. You could go on YouTube and find a video you could be searching and searching and you won't find my video, but you most likely will, because my videos are pretty highly ranked in this category. But anyways, you want to go to my channel page, videos, and then search. Once you search your specific printer model, you'll want to find a video that is close enough to your printer. Now, you might find something that is a model that is close to yours, and you'll want to use those instructions if you don't find your exact printer model. Within these instructions, I'm going to show you in that video how to use this cleaning kit to manually clean the print head. There's a whole process. It's different for most Epson EcoTank printers, and you'll want to follow those instructions to do the cleaning, and that cleaning will take you through this entire process. Many times the cleanings that we talked about earlier in this video come at the end of that video to push ink back into the system. Now, this might seem overwhelming. It may seem like a lot of information at this point, especially could be frustrating if at this point you're still not solving this issue, but believe me, this is the solution. I've worked with these printers for years, and this does work. And it's very much worth you fixing this printer than having to buy a new one, especially if it's fixable. You want to fix your printer versus just throwing it out and starting all over. And you'll probably end up with the same problem if you don't follow the maintenance tips that I'm about to share with you here in this video. All right, so going from this video, if you have moved over to a repair video for your specific printer, that should fix it. That should completely fix it. If the problem continues past that point, there are more extreme cleanings that you can do in other videos that I have. Now, if you're having an error code, that's a whole nother issue, and that is where you probably would need to get a new printer. if there is an error code. Now, make sure you follow the instructions in the video that you watch to a T. One of the most important instructions that you could follow on the packaging of the cleaning kit is after you do the cleaning, you need to wait at least 24 hours before you power back on. That is very important. All right, so now lastly, what you can do to prevent from having to do all of this in the future is maintenance on your printer. Just like a vehicle that needs its oil changed and its filters replaced, these Epson EcoTank printers require quite a bit of maintenance, especially if you're going to be doing sublimation printing. Now, if you are printing infrequently, you need to somehow put in the schedule and maybe even automate where you are printing a little bit more frequently. So if you go Monday through Friday printing, but over the weekend you notice that you have some issues because you're not printing, one of two things. You can either do a print that is not related to anything that you're doing. It's just a maintenance print. And that would be, at least one in between the days where you're, maybe there's 3 days, do it on that middle day. Print something where you normally wouldn't print. So that's if you're printing infrequently. You want to boost up your frequency. And if you are not in the office for some reason, there's a way for every Epson EcoTank printer to print remotely, and you'll want to have that set up. There's got to be a way for you to be able to print when you don't normally print. If you're going on break, I would say try your best to have that automated. Maybe you're sitting at home and you need to send some prints to your workplace. If not, maybe take an extra trip into the office that you normally wouldn't take and do some maintenance prints. That's what I would call that. Now, if you're going to really, extended period of time between prints, you'll want to ramp this up because you want to be printing at least every other day, or at least at the very least, I would say the most you want to go without printing is 2 to 3 days if you want to make sure to keep that ink flowing in the system. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, if you are printing very frequently, you will want to check your maintenance box. Epson EcoTank printers have 3 types of maintenance boxes. I'm going to be leaving a link to each one of those down in the description below. Now, many times you will get a message on your printer that you need to swap these out. But if you're printing high volumes, I would manually pull them out, take a look at the cotton inside. When it first starts out, it's totally white. If you see a lot of gunked up ink in there, you can just replace the maintenance box, reset from right there, and that will definitely help, because what happens is when that maintenance box gets clogged, that backs up the entire system. If your maintenance box is getting clogged and really getting gunked up in there, it's just a matter of time before you're going to have an issue with your print head. So you want to swap those out as frequently as possible. If you're printing very high volumes, I would swap that out, especially with sublimation ink, every 2 to 3 months. And that would really just be preventative maintenance. Now, the good thing is that you don't have the issue of low frequency, but high frequency brings its other challenges. Now, even the infrequent printer at some point will need to change the maintenance box. So this applies to both. If you're somewhere in between, you'll want to use a combination of these methods with maintenance. Another thing you can do is do a power cleaning. Right before you change out your maintenance box, do a power cleaning, flush the system. Then that's just an extra little piece of maintenance that you can do. Flush the system and then remove the maintenance box, start fresh, and you're ready to go. All right, so those are the main things you can do to maintain your printer. I really hope all the information in this video was helpful. Remember all of the product links that are down in the description below for your convenience, especially the Best Printers branded Sublimation ink. And you can subscribe on Amazon to receiving this Sublimation ink every 3 months if you print that frequently, and really save a lot of money because there is a discount when you subscribe. There's different variations of what you can do with subscriptions on Amazon, so highly recommend that you do that. All right, that's really all I have for now. If this video was helpful, please make sure to like. Any questions at all, comment below. And if you want more content like this, please make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time. Thank you so much for watching until the end of this video. I handpicked 2 videos that are here on the screen for you to watch next. Also consider subscribing to this channel. There's so much helpful content for you if you're a printer owner, and it's just good to have a resource like this for you in the future, whether you're dealing with a printer that's not printing well or you need more printer recommendations. So I look forward to seeing you again in another video.